whatever happens, you know.
Well, did you ever?
I love those guys. I still get along great with them. And we did a show a number of years ago with Tyler and Ed and Matt. We did like for Tyler's birthday, we did a show in Seattle where we did like 3 Foo Fighters covers and
Really?
yeah. So,
Oh my
and
gosh.
anytime I go out, I'm going out there in July. I mean, I always try to see Matt and Rose and all those guys, you know, if I can. So
Matt's in a really really cool band. I forgot the name of the band.
they
Um,
just changed their name to Cussing.
oh really?
Yeah, it was called something else.
Yeah. Oh shoot, what
The
was
dude
it?
from Focused is in it.
Is Tim? Do you ever still talk with
Tell
like
me.
anybody like Tim Man or anybody from the old school like hardcore
Dirk.
bands?
Dirk.
Dirk?
Yeah. Dirk was in Focused.
Yeah,
And Zaker.
yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him.
He's God. I met that guy too, and he was super chill and cool as heck. I just,
Yeah, he's a
you
good
know,
dude.
I even met
Yeah, but
Mark.
not Tim, not
Mark
Tim,
was cool.
man.
Huh?
What's that?
No, I was just saying. I even met Mark and a long time, a very long time ago, when Steve Zaker was, I think, is it called Absolutes or
Yep.
Obsolete?
Absolutes. Yep.
Okay, so that when that was out, they played at a Calvary Chapel Chino Hills uh, venue, and I forgot there was like a ska band there or whatever, and then Mark was just kind of sitting out on the table, one of the tables, and I just kind of like dared myself, like, okay, I'm just gonna go over and talk to him. He looks like he wants to hurt someone, but I'm gonna go over and talk to him anyways.
Old Uncle Grumpy Pants.
He always seems so like he's like standoffish. So I just said screw it. So I went over there and said, when's the next time I'm going to be able to do this? And I started to talk to him, and he kind of like was a little reserved and like didn't want to be bugged, and talked to him, but kind of like he kind of eased up a little bit and got to talk to him just to just kind of figure out some things with him, and he was ended up being really cool and.
Yep.
Didn't completely shun me off.
Nice.
But he was so cool. And then when I got to hear him on your show, I was like, dude, yeah, he's super cool. He's just a great guy.
He
But
is. He's like a lot of us, man. I think there's like always like a misconception about like artists that like because we play music and by nature it's performed, quote unquote, performed on a stage or like whatever, that we're extroverted. In my experience with people that are creative or like whatever is that most are not. Most are nervous talking to people,
yeah,
are
yeah.
insecure,
Oh yeah.
are like, all these things. And sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's like a weird thing that, like like people are always surprised. Like I appear to be very extroverted. It's like, no, I'm kind of grew up an only child. I'm like I can be like a people person around people. I appear to be a people person, but like when I take all those quizzes, like, are you energized by being at a party with a bunch of people? No, I fucking hate it. I
No.
want to be with like 2 people. And
Yes,
every person
exactly.
that you add after 2 people, my anxiety and misery index just skyrockets. Like, oh no, there's like 4 people now. Fuck, how do I get out of this? Like, I hate it. I just hate it.
Absolutely. I
And
know what you're
everybody
saying.
just thinks like, oh, look at the life of the party. Look at him running around talking to everybody, whatever. It's like I'm just in pure survival mode. Like I told somebody the other day, I said something, and they're like, what did you say? I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm on autopilot like half the time. I don't even know what's happening. And then I get out of there and I'm just fucking exhausted.
Oh,
And
I
I'm like one of the
bet.
last people to leave too. So I could see where, there's like, wow, he stayed here the whole time. He just really loves this being around with people. It's like, I really
You're like,
don't.
no, I was trapped the
I
entire
definitely
time.
do not. Just true story. 1 or 2
But
people. That's like where I'm comfortable. This is good right here. As soon as someone comes in with you, and then someone else starts asking questions in this scenario right here, and then someone else comes, and I'm just like, my time. I'm running out of time, Scotty. I gotta
yeah.
go.
No, I know it's the same way. It's like
I
you
don't know,
get
but then I feel that way about Mark. So it's like everybody's always like, "Oh, that guy's asshole. He's like grumpy. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. He looks like very unfriendly, like whatever." It maybe he's just not a people person, but he likes to make music and art. Like, I don't know.
no, no, but he is cool though. I mean,
He is. He's a good dude. One of my best friends.
so Billy, one time, so I was in a punk band called Unchained, and
Mm-hmm.
one night again, I forget, I went to so many shows back in the day, and the Blaine was playing, but
Yep.
Mark was there and
Yeah.
supporting,
Yep.
and our bass player Tom went up to Mark and he had a Blaine poster, and he goes he goes, can you sign this? And Mark goes, I'm not in the band. Why would I sign it? And then he like this like total like a-hole about it. And then he goes, well, I get that. Would you sign the back then? And he goes, okay. So he flips over the poster and he goes, I'm not in this band, Mark.
Nice. Classic.
He goes, and he was so scarred by that. He was just like, "Oh man, Mark's such a jerk, man." I do,
Yeah,
but like, can you blame him? He's signing a poster that he's not a part of this band. So,
maybe that was the Nebuchadnezzar period.
I, oh man, guys, yeah, it's so funny. But that's cool that you're still friends with Dirk, though. I think Dirk was always such a very standout bass player. He had such a
Yeah,
unique sound with his bass playing, and yeah, just
yeah, it's
kind
a
of a quiet
very
guy too.
yeah, he has a very respectable music collection himself. He always
Oh,
posts
really?
vinyl stuff that he's listening to.
Oh, nice.
He has a lot more than me.
Yeah,
Dirk.
it's
He
fun.
always beats me to whatever the thing is I think I'm gonna get, and I'm gonna be like, "Look, Dirk, I got blah blah blah." And it's like he already has it.
He's got that, and he's got
Son
two of
of,
them.
son of a bitch. He got the cool variant, and I got black.
Does
Wah, wah.
does he? Are any of these guys like another like a lot of these guys you knew back in the day? Any of them in other like kind of known bands or kind of?
I mean, Dirk's Zach Brown's personal assistant. Like
Oh,
he's,
seriously?
yeah, he's like his right
Wow.
hand man. Like we work with them at Orca, where I work at the cooler company.
Oh,
And
that's right.
Bruce from Living Sacrifice, who worked with me at Zambui, is a good friend of Mike's. He works for a merch company, and they do Zach's merch because of Dirk.
Wow, very cool.
Band wise, I mean Ethan Luck, who was in the Supertones and Dingies and
Yes,
played
that's
in
right.
a gazillion bands. He's out with this girl Morgan Wade, who's like an up and coming country star. Like they just played some massive show with Luke Combs at a stadium.
Wow,
And he lives here in Nashville, and he's done a lot of cool. He toured Kings of Leon for years, and
that's right.
Kings
Okay.
for Lumineers and whatever. I'm trying. I mean,
Because he was your
yeah,
first guest on your show, right?
yep. And he wrote the theme song to the
Oh,
podcast
that's right.
too. Yep. And that was from years ago, and the first time I lived in Nashville. And then he's really good friends with my friend Josh, who briefly played in Stairwell. Josh Hernandez. They grew up together since they were kids, and
Okay.
Josh plays guitar and Spoken in Tongues. Plays the
Oh,
guitar.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. There's the connection.
Yep.
Um,
All the people, but yeah, I mean,
it's so
there's
funny how
tons
that
there's
kind of
tons of
connects.
people still doing music. I mean, Matt Wignall
Yeah.
from Javelina plays in this band called War Girl with a bunch of girls in California. That's really awesome.
Oh, cool.
I mean, tons of people have continued to play music and do music.
See now I feel. See now I feel in that kind of moment where it's like I may never get this again. What can I ask him?
Here it is, the big question.
No,
Everybody,
no.
make it count, Sky. Make it. This everything is riding on this. If you don't get it right, everything is ruined from here on out.
Where did you get your glasses? That's what I wanted to ask you.
Oh, these are new glasses. I hadn't
No.
had
Oh, really?
glasses. This is a true story. I hadn't gotten new glasses in like 6 years, and then I have a really fat fucking head, so like sometimes it's kind of hard for me to find glasses. So this is like the extra wide Warby Parker
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
glasses that I like clear. My last pair I loved, but they were a little too narrow, and they're like Purcell. I think my other frames are Purcell, but these are Warby Parkers. I mean, the first glasses I ever had were Warby Parkers too.
Oh, okay. So
I
they
kind of got
feel
back.
feel like more even and less like because of
Yeah, the other
like a
ones were
narrow like
like kind
that,
of bent,
bending
like
forward.
yeah, and these like actually fit my fat face. So that's nice. Warby Parkers. That's it. That's what you went with, the glasses.
No, I told you. There's not, I don't have like any
Oh
like
man,
special questions.
that's it.
I was
That's
just
it.
curiosities. You know?
Unbelievable.
I know. I failed. Well,
You
there
want to
goes
see
that.
my new? You want to see my new guitar? I got a new guitar.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
So I've been. Can you hear me over here still?
Yep.
Okay. So I normally play these cheap ass $200 Epiphone SGs. This kind of the guitar I've landed on, which looks like this, right? So
Yeah. Okay. Oh
Pelham.
yeah.
They're only like $200, so I just feel like if I dropped it right now, who cares? It was a $200 guitar. And this is like the first guitar I actually ever bought, which is also an Epiphone. But I've swapped out see how it has a different pickup on
Yes.
the bridge?
Yeah.
I literally never use, like my man from Social Distortion, who actually has his rhythm treble switch taped down on his guitar, Mike Ness. I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
seen he literally just tapes that switch down.
I didn't know that.
I always only use the bridge pickup. I just recently upgraded this pickup to
Oh,
a bridge pickup to a DiMarzio Super Distortion on this guitar, right? So then I just got to looking on the internet because a guitar hero of mine. I'm not good at guitar at all, by the way. I always play bass in my band. I can.
oh,
I can kind of cobble together some bar chords. That's about as good as I am. But Brian Baker from Minor Threat and Bad Religion and all that stuff, he's like a hero of mine. Oh, you can't even see my face.
there we go. Hi.
So anyway, he's been doing these videos online, one guitar in 1 minute, and he's been showing all these different guitars. And one of them was a Les Paul Jr., which only just has the one P90 pickup. That's all it has. So then I found this account on Instagram that was one pickup guitars. So it was like all they had on there. And I found about this company, Reverend Guitars.
Okay.
And so I got this Reverend Sensei Jr. in metallic.
Oh, wow.
Kind of mint green metallic, right?
Yeah.
It just has the one pickup or whatever, and it has this bass like roll off switch or whatever. Anyways, this guitar costs more than all my other guitars combined. I think it was, and it's not even still that expensive a guitar compared to like Gibson's or
yeah,
whatever, but it's pretty cool.
That's a beautiful color, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it. And it's kind of SG-esque.
Yeah, it's just got sort of feel. Yeah. You just got that? Like how new?
I've had it like 2 weeks.
Wow.
I used it at rehearsal last week, and then I had just gotten it done. So, yep. Have rehearsal tomorrow. Spoken in Tongues rehearsal tomorrow.
So yeah,
our fourth practice.
I wanted to ask you about it. I know we only got 6 minutes left on this freaking session.
And bullshit Zoom.
When you start, okay. So what brought Spoken in Tongues? Did you just like?
I don't even know. That's
you don't
a great
really
question.
Just start talking with somebody.
How did that happen? I mean, it was just a thing that I like. I went back to school and I was doing audio stuff, and I was kind of doing demos of my own music at home and getting into some home recording and writing some songs for the first time in a really long time. And I just really had the intention of doing it all myself. I was going to just play the instruments, write all the songs, record it myself. Which is pretty ostensibly what I did. I mean, I didn't play the drums on the records, but I did everything else, all the backing vocals, all the lead vocals. There's a few guest vocals on both records, but just as a personal challenge for myself, I just really wanted to, I just felt like I still had stuff to say, and I still wanted to express myself through music. And it's based on the band name is based on a Dag Nasty, one of my all-time favorite bands, Dag Nasty lyric, "What's left to be said will be spoken in tongues."
Okay.
So unfortunately, I didn't really think about the weirdly, I did not think at all about the charismatic part of it. And now when you Google spoken in tongues, it's just a bunch of like Pentecostal bullshit. So that part's kind of a bummer. In retrospect, that part's a bummer, but yeah. So I made that first record and felt pretty good finishing that and getting that out and whatever. And I just kind of went in with the theory. It didn't sound amazing, but I feel like I got a little bit better on the second one, a little bit better on the covers EP, and got better gear and kind of figuring out what I'm doing and like whatever. And then when I graduated from college and got divorced again, like I was kind of deciding where I was going to live and where I was going to move and what I was going to do. And I was like, I could go back to Seattle, or I could go to San Diego, or I could go here or there. And Nashville was kind of the place that I had lived most recently and knew the most people. And I knew a lot of musicians and had a lot of friends here and a good network of people. And so, I mean, I fully moved here with the intention of making this an actual band and recruiting guys to play and making records and whatever. I mean, that was the plan from the get-go. It was one of the main reasons I chose to move back here. So then when I got back, this guy Clark, who I met through my podcast, who ran a recording studio in Indiana and kind of grew up on some of the Tooth and Nail stuff, we struck up a friendship. He was one of the first people to reach out to me when I moved back. We went out for tacos and became fast friends. And next thing you know, I'm asking him to play in the band. And then I asked Ethan and Josh, but I just knew Ethan was going to be too busy with all this stuff. And with Morgan Wade, he's touring all the time. And then Josh, and then the other Josh who plays bass is the brother of a friend of mine, Vicky, who I worked with at Zambui, the merch company. So I worked with him before and knew him, and I was at the Thursday show a while back, And Vicky texted me, "Hey, my brother's at that show. You should say hello." And then I got a text from him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm over by the bar." And then I remembered that he played in bands and stuff like that, and whatever. And I was like, "Hey, man, are you still looking to play or like whatever?" And he's like, "Totally." And so here, now we're 4 rehearsals in, and we worked on a new song for the third record last week, and we're practicing again tomorrow. And yeah, so gonna put out another record, gonna start playing some shows. Fuck it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that. And you did it just with about 1 minute left.
I know. Look at me. That's it, guys. Spoken in tongues. You could be our 237th follower.
Yay!
Okay.
So I brought. Well, first of all, I gotta ask something. What's with you and very long titles?
They're not all long, man.
Oh, you kidding me? Hold on. Let's see.
They're
Let's
not
go.
all long.
Prime candidate for burnout. Okay, that's all right.
You're talking about old stuff. I didn't write all that.
None of that was you?
I mean, I did, but like, not all the long ones are me.
No.
Look at Roadside Monument song titles and then tell me who wrote the long song titles.
Oh no, I know.
It's a collaborative effort. Don't blame all the song titles on me.
You know, I should have brought that up to Jonathan Ford. Said, "What's the deal?"
I do like a good long song title. I mean, I purposely named the trilogy of records like long titles just because that was kind of a thing. I'm trying to bring back that whole mid-90s emo vibe, man.
Yeah, okay,
bring it back.
That's a good point.
Font choice, the artwork, everything. I mean, come on, I'm working hard on this, man, to bring back this whole vibe, dude.
I love it. No, I just wanted to give you a hard time about it.
I don't know. The newest song I wrote is a three words. That's it. So live it up.
As long as super fragile. Well, I can't even see the word. Cut.
Your favorite song is Tow Truck. That's 2 words, bro. Don't get me started. I'm gonna straighten you out here.
That's
like
a good
Spoken
point.
in Tongue, Creepy Paper. This is our set list right now. Creepy Paper, Black Heart, The Dead Speak, Bluff, 2017 Lombardia, Sleep, Ceiling Feeling, Cages. There's nothing over 3 words and one song title with 4 words.
I'm sorry.
I mean, the album title long. The light at the end of the tunnel.
That's what I meant with your album
That's
titles.
not the name of a song. Yeah,
I didn't say songs. I said what's with you and long titles.
But after the trilogy, the album titles are very short. Like the record that comes after. So the next record is the Unreal and the Hyperreal happening at once, right? So that's capping off the 3 record thing. But then the record after that is just called Awkward Future. So the long titles are over. This is it. Live it up. Enjoy that last long title, bro. After this, it's all 1 or 2 word, 3 word, maybe 4 word. I can't.
Maybe 4.
You never know. I'll probably whip out a couple records after that. I'll probably whip out a long one again.
Bro, that sounds inappropriate.
Whip it out.
Whip out the long one. Cut.
Like for children? Are children going to listen to this?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, it's already ruined in that case.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was expecting that.
I'll fight back, man. Don't challenge me. I know what the.
I can tell. All right.
Not a single long title in that bunch. I mean, I'm not trying to get in a fight here, but.
Oh no, it was just album titles. I just thought that was kind of funny.
I get it. I got what you meant.
So what's your trilogy, like your theme of the trilogy, or what's the meaning? Is there a meaning behind it, or it's just a trilogy?
If women are shitty, that's the theme. Just kidding. Just one in particular. No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, it's basically, honestly, like the first record was written like through just my second divorce and all that kind of stuff, and then the second record was written through like me living through the whole pandemic, like the first wave of the pandemic in New York City and working in New York City overnight. Like the cover is like a literal picture I took working at Con Ed at night in Brooklyn, like under the train or whatever. So it's just, it's just kind of reflecting that time and then just kind of coming out of that. And then the third record is I've only written like 3 or 4 songs for the third record, but thematically I'm just kind of trying to come out of that. Like something I've never really been good at is like um writing about like writing fiction basically. And so
Oh,
I'm writing
really?
like, yeah, like all my songs are very personal and very about people and about myself and about my life, and like very rarely, or I mean there's like Alcohol House would be a notable exception from the first Blunderhead record. Like that was more of a story about a couple and like whatever, that wasn't from my own personal experience. I remember people going like, "Oh, you're an alcoholic," or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
was a fictional thing, but generally speaking, like what inspires me to write things is things about my real life, things
Yeah.
I'm experiencing, all that kind of stuff. And also like social commentary. I'm always trying to just comment on society and politics and just life and what's happening, a reflection of the time and whatever.
Yeah.
So the third record, like the starting point of that, there was an interview with Stephen Colbert on Mark Maron's podcast where he talked about he came from this big Irish Catholic family and they had all these kids, and a bunch of his siblings and his father were killed in a plane crash where they all died.
That's
And
right.
then all of a sudden it was just him and his mother,
Yeah.
basically went from having this big family to just being like the two of them. And he described it as being the unreal and the hyper real happening at once. And
Hmm.
that's just a direct lift from what he said in that interview. Like really struck me, the idea of that, of just like sometimes you're like going through things and and it's just like with COVID and political
All the
landscape
stuff.
and all this, like every day you think it can't get more fucked up and weird, and oh my
Yeah.
god, what's happening now? Like it like ups the ante a little bit more or whatever. And so there's just like a very distorted feeling of reality of like coming from New York and being in the city where it was abandoned during COVID, and then all these different waves of, and then moving to Nashville, and then became the number one place for COVID in the country. It's like felt like it was chasing me around America.
Yeah. I
Like
could
just,
see that. Yeah.
I don't know, just very surrealistic things of that kind of nature. And so I think there's still, I mean, like this newest song that I just wrote, like has still personal things that are happening right now and stuff like that. But I'm trying to move beyond the broken relationship stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enter a new era. So like
Good.
there's kind of like the first record is very dark and the cover is very dark, and the second one's like even worse, like I purposely made it very red and like
Mm-hmm.
looks like blood almost or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the third cover, when you see it, it's like a lot lighter. It's a picture I took in Israel when I went to visit my friend Jamie in Israel. And it's just hopefully it's sort of a coming out of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
kind of looking forward towards the future and hoping for the best,
Yeah.
planning for the worst, but hoping for
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can handle from just a slew of bad stuff to there's
Yeah,
got to be something, some sort of bright light at the end of the tunnel, and
yeah.
not no and and no, not the end of the light is the black tunnel or the title. I was trying to fit it in there. Damn it.
Yeah. That's kind of like everything is like so inside baseball on everything that I ever do. And I always plan things out like far in advance. Like I always like to have the idea and the theme and the cover and the title and all that before I even do the songs. In some ways, I kind of work backwards that way. Like I like to have a framework that I'm working from,
I
kind of.
love that though. I love
Makes
that.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't, the idea that I just kind of cobble a bunch of stuff together and say, oh, what does this all mean? And how can I represent all that? Like I don't work that way. I like kind of like some kind of fabric that I can like build everything off of, right?
Yeah.
Um, what the fuck was I saying? I don't even know now. There it goes. That was it.
No, you were just talking about like how your stuff actually you kind of how you work backwards with
Yeah.
themes and whatnot, and
Yeah.
and I wanted to actually bring that up. So, well, I don't want to get too deep at the very end here, but I was okay for me. When I heard Half Vampire, and I think I commented this to you on online,
Yeah.
that song it really really hit me.
That actually is a song that I feel like probably it meant a lot to me that that it really resonated with you, because even when I hear that song, I kind of get emotional. Like it was a song that meant a lot to me when I wrote it. And I can't say that about, I just think, oh, this is catchy, or this is a cool riff, or this is a cool thing. I'm going to say this mean thing about my ex-wife or whatever. And then, but this is very deeply personal on every level. And
Yeah.
it was, and again, like with the Lost Boys thing, it's just really more about that whole process that we were talking about earlier of connecting with this old music, connecting with movies that were kind of interconnected with that. Right. because I always think about in Lost Boys that they did that call song with that
Yeah.
weird band, right? With the muscle bound guy with the saxophone. It's like so fucking weird because if you know the call and what they look like is could not be more different than them. It's like, why did they choose like oil barrels on fire and this weird guy with like he had like some brass ring around his bicep or something, right? And chains and all this stuff. It's like the call, really?
Yeah, what?
Yeah. So, but we did that call cover on the EP and stuff like that. So there's, and I did that whole EP of songs from that era of music, from all that kind of stuff. So it's all interwoven into all that stuff.
I love that, man. That's cool.
So
Well, I'm glad I wasn't too far off, but I think that's what's so beautiful too about it is that even though it to me, even though it's the shortest song, it left the biggest imprint for me on that album,
nice.
and
I love that.
that's a great way to end that album in my opinion. That at least that's what I took from it. So
Thanks.
Tow Truck and Half Vampire, man.
There you go.
You hit
Hey,
my
I made
guts.
2 songs you liked, so I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm batting pretty. It's pretty good for 5 records worth of material.
Oh no. I'm just saying those are like some of my favorites.
I got it. I'm just busting on you.
Okay, so this is the last thing, okay?
Here it
So
is.
no. So with Spoken in Tongues,
Yes, sir.
how did it feel to finally be playing live again, like practicing, like
So
feeling
good.
everything at once?
Yeah, I mean it's been like 20 years or something, which is incalculable to even think about.
Yeah.
And I think for even the guys that like Josh, who's playing guitar, sorry, having indigestion again.
Go for it, I don't care.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you. I
You're a
can't.
burpy guy.
I don't know how to be anything but what I am. It's imperfect.
And I love that. And I love it. Stop. Keep going. Keep going. Keep burping. I don't care.
I think for all of us, like we haven't really, just because of COVID and because of everything, I think we're all in that similar spot. And we all like really on a personal level, we all get along really good and we're just enjoying each other's company. And I've been friends with Josh for a really long time and have gotten really close to Clark and his wife since I moved here, and the other Josh Rosa as well. And I never played guitar and sang in a band ever. I always played bass. So it was like, I was like, can I even do this? I always have a
Yeah.
hard time like remembering lyrics and all that kind of stuff, but it's gone really good, man. I mean,
Yeah.
the first rehearsal went really well and like the songs are coming together and it's just feels great. And this last rehearsal, we did kind of a quiet like rehearsal at the bass player's house. The one Josh, it's so confusing. There's 2 Joshes. They're both Mexican. It's like one Josh Hernandez, Josh Rosa. We call Clark's been calling Josh Hernandez Pink Hat because he always wears this. I think it's like a LA, one of the team. It's like some pink baseball cap. So he refers to him as Pink Hat in the group text, so we can figure out what the fuck he's talking about. But but we were practicing in Josh's basement and at his condo, and like so we were I did a paid place for the first 2 rehearsals, and then he has like an electronic kit, and so we were playing super quiet. Like I only sang at room like volume, like I didn't use the PA or anything. And it was cool just to kind of hear the songs like that and like play through everything at that quieter volume where everybody could hear everything. And it felt good, man. I'm excited to play again tomorrow and to practice again and eventually play shows. I mean, I always struggle with stage fright. I always would like get terrified and be nervous and forget shit and like whatever. And I'm still excited to do it. I think it'll be fun to play again. I'm excited to make another record this year. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of getting in a groove with everything, and it's just cool to like see something that I imagined for so long and making that first record and thinking, like I told you earlier about moving back here with the intention of doing this and like whatever to finally. It seemed like it was never going to happen at one point, to be honest. And it was like Chris came down and recorded all the drums, and then I was like, I was trying to get these guys together, and then we still kind of didn't have a bass player, and then actually the other Josh Hernandez is originally. And then when I met the other Josh, I knew they both play bass and guitar, but so anyways, we swapped that around and then it all happened. And now I'm buying guitars and who knows what's going to happen now.
That's awesome. No, that's great, man. Good. Do you guys plan a couple more practices and then the show, or do you have like some sort of like
Nah, I was telling Clark the other day, it's like I will not even book a show until I feel like we go from beginning to end through the set and I feel totally confident and that I can remember everything. And because I just feel like I can't be relaxed and enjoy it like if I'm like, oh god, what's the next lyric? Like, I just want to be like tight to that level of like there's no rush. It's been 20 years. Like it's not going to kill everybody to wait another year. Those 10 people that are going to come to that show, man, they can. I'm including the bartenders and the other band.
There you go. Well, dude, if you guys ever ever get to the point where you want to do a little West Coast tour, I would love to come see you, man. So hopefully you get to that point. I hope.
Life is strange, man. Anything could happen.
Yeah, true. Very true. Oh my God, yes.
I don't say anything with any certainty anymore or whatever. You think eventually you get out? I don't know. Stranger shit has happened.
True. Very true.
Happening every day. So it's not out of the question, man. I'm not ruling anything out.
Okay. Well, good.
Except Furnace Fest. I'm not playing that shit. Fuck you, John Caro. That was for Ryan Luther, Chad Johnson. Shout out, guys. That's all you guys and your Furnace Fest nonsense. I tried to get on Furnace Fest. Would they book me on Furnace Fest? No, but whatever. No love for your old boy Billy. That's cool.
No.
Nope. I'd have special guest. I mean, we played with Jeremy Enick back in the day, bro. We go all the way back. Whatever.
You don't sound bitter at all. That's good. Write a song about it.
I don't give a shit. I want to go to Furnace Fest.
Oh my God.
I see Ryan Luther all the time. He's one of the owners of the festival. So he lives here in Nashville. But I see him at shows literally like every other show that I go to. He's there usually.
You're like, I see you. I saw you last time.
Are you gonna go? I'm like, no. But I've never said that shit about like you never booked my band, but that is true. I pitched Chad Johnson for the first time for the first year that he came back, but I never heard back. So it's not what people want, Scotty. It's not. They don't want it. I'm not that guy, though. I really don't care. I'll just play. I've been telling people here I'm going to bring back the my goal, and this is no bullshit, is to bring back the VFW Hall show. I'm going to make the VFW Hall show a thing again. You remember back in the day, they'd rent some like a fire hall or a VFW hall, the all ages show at the local community center or the whatever. I mean, it still happens in some places. Like there's a pretty famous place in Philly, this old church and some of that kind of stuff. But I'm like, for Nashville, dude, I'm bringing back that. There's a 16-year-old kid right now that's just getting into punk or whatever.
Yes,
he needs to experience his all ages matinee at the fire hall where the old guys out front like, what do we rent? Who do we rent this to again? Like, what are these kids coming in? I mean, they need to have that experience like we all did growing up, dude.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. Absolutely.
So I mean, that's the short-term goal, is to bring back the VFW Hall show. So
do it, man. Do it.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, Bill, thank you so much, bud, for coming and taking the time, man. Especially 3 sessions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. We got it done. That's all that matters.
We did.
Made it to the end.
You did.
And I appreciate you and everything you've shared with me, and for tattooing my stupid record cover on your leg and caring about anything I ever did. It just means a lot to me. So appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Billy. And again, thank you for your time, brother.
You got it, man.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.